All right. Well, good evening, everyone. I want to welcome everyone here this evening. And if you are here for the very first time, do me a huge favor. Just type a number one in the comment so we can acknowledge you for being here and thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comment as well. I want to jump right into this. Tonight, I have a very special guest, someone I met I think it was just earlier this summer. But when you meet someone and you feel like you've known them for a lifetime, well, this individual is someone, again, I have a lot of respect for. I'm not going to go through her entire bio right now because you're going to see it. I'm going to write it into all the comments so you can actually see. But what I love is that not only is she branded as the positive mom, but you're going to find out that she is an incredible entrepreneur. She is a 4X, like 4 times TEDx speaker. But what you're going to find out is this. What I love the most about Elayna is family is very important for her. So family is important and helping other people is important as well. So please help me to welcome my special guest tonight, Elayna Fernández. Elayna, how are you?
Oh, thank you so much, Gordon. I'm so excited and so grateful for this opportunity to chat with you. And the feeling is mutual. When I met you and I understood and felt your heart for people and the values that you represent and that you live in your life, I definitely knew that this was going to be a friendship that was lasting and meaningful. So thank you so much for extending that to me and for the honor of being interviewed by you today.
Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for being here. And I want to jump right into this because I was able to spend a little bit of time with you over breakfast with my business partner Jay Jack Anthony. So I got to know you just a little bit, and you're going to be coming back to Toronto this coming Saturday, 16th. We're going to talk a bit about that in a minute as well. But you are the positive mom, right? You are the positive mom. You've spoken on the TED stage 4 times, and you've helped so many other people do the same, become authors, speakers, thought leaders. We see you as the success that you are today. Now, could you perhaps share with us a little bit about Elayna? Who is Elayna before the person we know today?
Wow. Thank you for asking that because, we always focus on the after state, what happens after. And very rarely do we go through the journey of transformation that took so many hours and so much effort and sleepless nights and sacrifice. And my journey has definitely been very long and very arduous. And I think that what I want to say about my journey, because there are so many layers and so many angles that I could start, but when I was growing up in the Dominican Republic, where I'm from, I grew up in a slum where we didn't even have running water. We fetched our water from a nearby river. And when I say nearby, it was kilometers and kilometers and kilometers. And there was a time when I was 7 years old that my brother and I went into a landfill and we found this magazine in this, muggy and muddy and I would say stench filled place where we could discover so many objects and artifacts and items. And we found this magazine and it was in English. And I remember thinking and saying to my brother that because
Okay,
this
it looks like
magazine,
we may have lost sound for a second, but that's okay. You're back. It's all in the ether, right? Like Napoleon says.
oh my gosh, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm not sure what's going on. So where did we leave off?
you're talking about growing up in the slums, no running water, which kind of neat because Atlanta, my parents came from Hong Kong to here when I was 8 years old,
Mm,
and we grew up in slums, no running water as well, so I can relate a little bit to your story.
yeah. Yeah. And you know that it takes sacrifice even as a young age. You're contributing, you're working hard, you're sacrificing. And so everything is about teamwork, isn't it? Everything is about contribution. Everything is about moving forward. And yet when you think about the goals that you have, they're very limited because you don't see a path beyond the slums. And so one day I was with my brother in this landfill that we had right behind our little shack where we lived. And I saw a magazine and it was in English. And I was able to see a vision of who I wanted to become in my life. And I saw these kids that had everything. They had shoes and they had jeans and they had toys and they had books, which I always loved. I'm a book nerd. And I think that's the first lesson that I remember learning. Well, number one, in order to be successful, you have to learn a new language, whether it's English or entrepreneurship. And number two, you gotta believe in a vision bigger than your circumstance. And so for me, that vision has driven me my entire life, knowing that I am more than my circumstances. And even when you know that, there's so much out there telling you who you're supposed to be or not be, how you're supposed to be or not be, what you're supposed to do and not do. And so I think that for me, my journey has been a journey of resilience and a journey of really fighting against what people or who people say I am and trusting in who I know I can be. And so that definitely is part of my journey. And I've been through so many obstacles and survived so much trauma. But I think it's if I go to the root of every single moment where I achieved a next level of success or achievement in my life, it has started with that desire to learn more and also that willingness to believe in a vision that's bigger and bolder than I'm supposed to have according to society.
Wow, Atlanta, that's incredible. So you were 7 years old,
Yeah.
and you found this magazine, and I'm thinking, in the book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill says that both riches and poverty are the offsprings of thought. What are you thinking about? And as I'm thinking of that quote, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you in that because you, even though you lived in poverty, you were able to break that cycle. Talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to us a little bit about
Oh, I love that you said that. I got chills, Gordon. Which happens very often, whoever you talk to, because you are just brilliant. But I love that, and I also love James Allen as a man
that.
thinketh,
Yes,
and there's
thank you.
something, yeah, very similar concepts here. And I think that, truly, I love that you said breaking cycles because that's truly my mission is to help people break cycles because I have been breaking cycles my entire life. And I'm still, just working toward breaking cycles.
Yes,
It's such a calling for me, and I love that you said that. And I think that in order to break cycles and to be what I like to call a cycle breaker, First, we need to figure out that we're stuck in one, that we need to change our relationship to money, to abundance, to currency. Because one thing I remember, is that especially when you're at that level of poverty, we tended to hear these thoughts about rich people and how, well, they're rich but they're not happy, or they're rich but they're not nice, or filthy rich, or money can't buy you this, or money can't buy you that. And the separation between wealth and poverty being as if there's a virtue in being poor. And one thing that I'm glad it was not something that I consciously decided, but I'm glad that at a young age I allowed myself to be ambitious. I allowed myself to say, this magazine, this lifestyle, that's for me, and to boldly claim that. And I tell you, Gordon, no one was thinking about learning English or being a millionaire or having, all of these possessions. They were like having goals like, can I buy ice cream one day? Um,
Yeah.
so I think it starts there. If we want to break a cycle, we need to definitely unlearn the lies that we've been told about the people that are out of the cycle.
Yeah. That, that's incredible. And again, as you're sharing that, I can see myself in you sharing your story. And if you guys are watching, one of the things I love about Elayna is she is a wonderful storyteller, and she absolutely knows how to tell people tell stories, and that's why I'm excited. We'll talk again a little bit later on her being here on Saturday with thought leader talks and helping other thought leaders tell their stories and maybe one day even be on the TED stage. But I remember, as I was growing up at 8 years old, I couldn't speak a word of English when I came to Canada. Right, kind of exactly what you just said. And my mom was always my best friend, as you can imagine. My mom raised like the five of us on her own, and so I remember my mom telling me that the only way people get wealthy is by cheating other people.
Yeah.
And one of the things she said to me was, Gordon, as you become successful, never buy a Mercedes Benz, right? Because what she taught me, Elayna, was the person who's got that nice car probably got into the game by cheating somebody else. And guess what? All my life, I own nice cars, but the one car I never owned
Oh my.
is a Mercedes Benz.
Wow. Wow.
So I think what you said was really neat because we are shaped by what people tell us as we're growing up. I want to welcome Dr. Dana Austin, who's probably joining us and watching right now from Puerto Rico. Dr. Shopi Chanda, who's watching from Oregon. And I don't know if this is the best time to say this, but what's kind of neat is those two amazing, wonderful women that I just mentioned, along with yourself, Elayna, the three of you have been honored by the the Malaysian South India Chamber of Commerce with your honorary doctorate. And the three of you, man, I can see Dr. Shopi, Dr. Dana, the three of you doing such incredible things and changing lives of not just women, but men and women from all around the world. Right. So I want to acknowledge them for being here. But what would you say to, let's say, somebody like myself, somebody watching, what you just said, what my mom used to say, like, hey, you know what? Um, money, what's, some people say money is the root of all evil. What would you say to that?
Well, I think that the root of all evil is greed. And greed and ambition are not the same thing. It's time that we go back to the root of the word, and that we understand the purpose of money. The purpose of money is to help us be comfortable so that we can be creators. Let me say that again. The purpose of money is for us to be comfortable so that we can be creators. And so when we become creators, we really are in alignment with who we are meant to be in this earth. And when we become creators, we bless other people. And so money is a tool that is going to allow us to expand and magnify whatever it is we want to do in this world. So who are you in the little thing? When you have, I believe in tithing myself. So when I have $10, I give one away. So if I have 10 million, I'll give 1 million away. So it's all about how we perceive it. And, even though in the Bible it says that the money is the root of all evil, it's out of context, because it says the love of money that causes them to err. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, Gordon, I love money.
Yeah.
I just don't love money more than my values. I
Yeah.
I there's a level of love, right? Like, I love hot chocolate.
Yes.
But my children are my priority. It's you can love
Yes.
something, but you gotta be clear on what your values are, what your vision is, and what your priorities are in life. So it's not
Yeah.
that, if we read the whole paragraph and the whole story, it's a love above reason, above integrity, above value that caused people to err. It wasn't just love. So we got to know that money is a tool that allows us to be comfortable so that we can express our gifts, so that we can bless others. When we have more money, we can bless our life and we can bless more people. And when we think about that and we switch that mindset, then we're able to teach that to our children and to bless generations and generations. And that's what you said, Gordon. We're breaking cycles here, not only for ourselves, but for our posterity, so that they don't ever have to do what you and I did, right? They don't, my daughters have not fetched water. They have had
Wow.
shoes all their lives.
Yes.
They were reading books from the belly, right?
Yes.
I owned my first book when I was, I think, 14 years old. So
Wow.
so so these are the things that we're able to do because of money. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's funny, sometimes when I'm speaking in front of an audience and people want to talk about money, one of the jokes I always tell is, being the son of a Baptist minister, every time I see a big crowd, I feel like passing that Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket, along, and as you drop in that money, the money should rustle, not rattle, right? That's one of the jokes I tell on stage. But money is so important, isn't it? Like the quality of education our kids get depends on money,
yes.
right? What we drive. So I mentioned I never drove a BMW or sorry, a Mercedes Benz because my mom always said don't buy one. So when I was growing up, my friends would we grew up with some families that were pretty affluent, and they had the Adidas running shoes, they had the Levi's jeans, they had their BMWs, right? And one day my dad jokingly said, "Hey son, I'm gonna buy you a BMW." Elayna, I got so excited, and his version of a BMW was bus, metro, walk,
Oh my goodness.
right?
Oh no.
So you're so right. The quality, money in itself is not bad. Sometimes it's what we do with it. But if we're blessed to have it, think of all the things we can do to bless others.
Yeah, our life expands.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to switch gears for a minute because see if I can bring up the screen. My kids tell me I'm kind of like a technical dummy, but Can you see the screen here?
I
I hope
can't.
you can see this. Can you see my screen?
Just black.
No, it's
Yeah.
just black. I think on mine I can see it.
Okay.
So the folks that are watching, hopefully you can see it. If not, I will put this on the bottom of the screen as well. As it's scrolling across the bottom, you'll see that this coming Saturday, December 16th, here in Toronto, okay, there's going to be a thought leader talks event. And there are 7 amazing individuals flying into Toronto. And you are going to want to come and hear them speak. I know when I was at your last Thought Leader Talks, it was amazing, right? The speeches they gave were phenomenal. Could you maybe, Elayna, share with us a little bit about what is Thought Leaders Talks, Thought Leader Talks, and then for some of my friends in Toronto, if they want to come to the event and come and meet Elayna in person, you guys, you will absolutely fall in love with her. Tell us a
Oh,
little bit about what is Thought Leaders Talks all about.
thank you so much, Gordon. And guess what? It's my birthday on Saturday, so
Yes.
it's gonna be a birthday hug. But I appreciate you so much and all of your encouragement to me. And thank you for the opportunity to talk about Thought Leader Talks. So, Thought Leader Talks is an intimate gathering of thought leaders. And there are 3 main categories that are discussed is wealth, just like we were talking about, and health and relationships. So what I've done is curated 7 amazing speakers. Sharon Sehavi is going to be the host. She's also an incredible entrepreneur. And these 7 speakers are sharing their powerful story. They're sharing tools so that you can improve your life and take your business and your life to the next level in every area of your life. And the inspiration and the implementation and integration that's going to happen in the room is powerful, but also the quality of the people in the room. People like Gordon, um, it's incredible. And so it's going to be a really amazing event. It's been featured on CBS, NBC, ABC, and so many other media nationally and internationally in Canada. I'm in Texas right now. And the speakers are just fantastic. There are 2 who are local to Canada, and the other ones are coming from different areas of the United States, just to simply serve the audience, impact with their ideas. And what we like to say is bright ideas that can impact the community. Because one thing that I know is that each of us has the power to impact another through the power of storytelling. And I've been working with each of these speakers to help them craft this talk, to help them really get to the essence and the core of what needs to be shared. So they've been working really hard and putting a lot of effort and energy to inspire everyone that attends. And I would love to see some of you there. And just like Gordon said, to hug on my birthday.
Wow. So we're going to celebrate your 18th birthday on Saturday.
That's correct.
Wow. That's pretty exciting. Well, I want to say welcome to J. Jack Anthony. Jay's sister, he's just said awesome as well. I'm sure he's going to be giving you a big hug on the weekend. Dr. Dana says, the love of money, I concur. Money allows us to do greater good and have further reach. And what's really neat is she is actually in Puerto Rico with a writer's retreat. And she just shared with me earlier that one of the students that are there just received a Bill Pinkley scholarship. And isn't that Elayna, what you have been talking about? That wouldn't it be amazing if someone has been blessed enough to have enough money and more, where they can actually provide scholarships for our youth for
Yes.
further education? Tell us a little bit about that. What are your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. I mean, and I want to acknowledge all of them here too. And also I want to, because we didn't talk about that, just say real quick that I'm so honored to be in their presence as award winning, I would say individuals of this highest honor for the honorary doctorate. It's just being transformational for me, and I'm sure that it would be fun to celebrate together this high honor. and and I want to say, just as a sidebar, that my dad is so excited and proud of me. um and Gordon knows this, but going back to your question, I just had to get that in because I just feel so grateful. And and I think that when we truly see the difference that we can make, it's not so much about the honors that we received and the accolades. They are validating in our path to success, but this measurement, these metrics on how we're able to bless other people, provide what we
Yes.
didn't have, and go beyond our family, that's when we
Yes.
truly create fulfilling success, because we change the fabric, we break the cycle for someone else, we change the fabric of their life. That young person that received that scholarship, their life will never be the same. But the lives of the people around that person, it's a ripple effect, and the posterity of that person completely shifted. It is incredible and immeasurable the impact that we can make when we allow ourselves to dream bigger and have, like I like to call them, have bold goals towards success and money. And and again, money as a tool to express who we are, who we're meant to be. And that means our values, that means our generosity, that means our love, that means the contribution in so many other ways that we want to make. It's incredible. And so receiving this honor and has been really impactful for me to allow me the credibility and the access to get in places where I can make that difference that weren't open to me before.
Wow. Yeah, and the doors that's going to open for you is incredible. I'm holding back because I know when you're here, Jay Jack Hampton, our co-founder, he's got it all framed, right? Like everything's all framed and all um, ready for you, your honorary doctorate's degree. And I'm like, I want to show it to you, but I'm not allowed to. Like I'm just like, oh, like it's wait till you actually see it.
I
It's
can't
gonna be
wait.
so amazing, right? And like you said, accolades. I can go through all your accolades, and folks, you guys can read it in YouTube and on this interview. You write for Entrepreneur, right? You've been on Good Morning America. There's so many different places where you've been ABC, NBC, CBS, and you share like you came from humble means and to have the successes that you have today. what what still drives you? Like, could you not just like the picture I just loved the other day was you and your daughter going with that shirt that says, what did it say in your shirt? We're not
I'm not
working.
I'm not working today, and her says me either.
I love that, right? Like, so you could be just spending all your quality time with family right now, but yet you're out there helping other people succeed. So what is it that still drives you?
I believe that we're put on this planet for a purpose. And I know that you know my story of overcoming so many near death experiences. And, having had the spiritual awakenings of, especially when I was in a coma for 8 days, I have been very clear since then that every single day could be our last. That
Wow.
that time is not something that is guaranteed. And so every single moment that we're in this planet, we're here to make a difference. And I was being blessed, I, I remember when I was 19 and I was kidnapped and brutally assaulted and almost murdered. I thought to myself in that moment, I didn't even get to have kids. I didn't even get to have kids, and I was just kind of ready to die. And
Wow.
and now I look at my life. I've had 4 beautiful daughters. They're 21, 20, 10, and 4. And just knowing that I've been able to be given so many second chances and that I'm still here, it drives me to continue to make a difference, to live on purpose, and to really be, have grace for myself while pouring everything I can into making sure that my life meant something, that I helped people, that someone's life was better because of me, that I also continue to achieve my potential. And so I really am grateful for these chances that I've been given. And if we think about it, you who are watching, and you and I, Gordon, every single day is a gift. It's a new chance to make a
Yes.
difference, to impact people, to inspire. And so that drives me 100%. Like, who can I a smile to, that I can maybe give a little bit of a spark, a brighter spark in that day. And it can be so simple. And yet sometimes we are so disconnected from our true purpose. And really, it's to be a blessing to others. And we cannot do that unless we bless ourselves. We allow those blessings. And just real quickly, I want to say, in order for us to allow that abundance, because that's what we're here to do, is to live in abundance, we need to increase and upgrade our sense of deserving.
I love that. Can you say that again? Can you say that again?
Yeah. So in order for us to allow living in a life of abundance, we need to upgrade and update our sense of deserving. We need to increase it. We need to know that we are deserving, not because we did this or were born XYZ, but just because we are here. If I'm breathing today, then I deserve everything that life has to give me. Everything that, I call it God, is has put on my mind and my heart, then that means I deserve it. And when I allow myself to deserve it and to attract it and to manifest it, then I can share that with others, and everyone is living in abundance. This is like truly the purpose of our life, is to bless, to live a blessed life so that we can bless other people.
I love that. I love that. Now, before we finish off here, I once again want to remind individuals that are watching, if you're here at home in Toronto, this Saturday, I'm going to be there. I'm going to delay my trip 1 week. I'm going away, spending time with my kids over Christmas holidays, but I'm going to leave the following week because I want to be here for Thought Leader Talk and to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
When we talked the other day, you mentioned there was only a limited number of tickets that are still left. How many tickets do we have left for
So
Saturday?
we have 5 tickets only.
5 tickets only.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Right.
if you
Yeah.
guys are watching and you're interested in coming, remember what so on the bottom you'll see the link. You can also reach out to myself, or you can go right to Eventbrite, and you can look for Thought Leader Talks. And it's right downtown Toronto, so easy to get to at the Toronto Reference Library, easy to get to there just hop on the subway, or you can drive and just park right across. There's parking, public parking right across from there. So it's easy for you to register and come. And if you really want to come, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. I want to make sure that you're there and you get to meet Elayna in person, and also all the other amazing speakers that are going to be there. Now, I want to ask, you talked about abundance. I love it, right? Like, we should all have more, not have more love, more joy, more peace, more abundance. We should have all that. Why is it some people, we all want it, but why are there people that are still struggling to get that? What would you say about that?
Yeah. So, we have to definitely acknowledge the realities of our society where some of us are born, you know, farther ahead than others. Some of us have different privileges in society. And, especially as an immigrant to the United States, I can attest that even after being very highly successful back home, I had to start from scratch as an immigrant. And I'm sure many of our viewers today can relate to that. And so there are those realities of systems that are in place. There are those realities of where we are born and who we are and how eh, the infrastructure of our life is definitely set up, and yet it's it's a longer race for many of us, but it's still a race and we can still run it. I think that the resilience that we demonstrate, not only in the amount of effort that we put in, but in the consistency of belief. And let me explain that, Gordon. When I created my blog 19 years ago, and you're familiar with my blog, The Positive Mom, I
Yes.
I started out from a moment of desperation and darkness. I was laying on the ground in the fetal position, just thinking, I just should just die. My daughters were 1 and 2. We were experiencing homelessness, and I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have a bank account. My entire family was in the Dominican Republic. I just felt so alone and hopeless, and thinking that, my life was better off ended than continuing. And in that moment, I had a surge of inspiration in my spirit and came back to that magazine, thinking about that vision. And believe it or not, that same vision that I had at 7 years old saved my life at 28 years old.
Wow.
Because, yeah, because I realized that vision was not for me. That vision was for my children. And they have had that life and that, just that abundance. They have had everything, not only physically and materially, but also emotionally and spiritually. That and more. And I think, yes, and it's because of the belief that I was able to cultivate. And the difficult moments is when I have abandoned that belief or doubted that belief. And just like you quoted Napoleon Hill, and we're quoting, as a man thinketh, and James Allen, it all begins right here, and that's also where it
Yes.
can end.
Yes.
I
Wow.
started my blog and I said, you know what, I'm gonna become an entrepreneur. And I had $10 a month to invest in my business and 10 minutes a day. That was all I could do. And that was hard with two
Wow.
toddlers. Yeah. you know,
I love
making, yeah, making less than minimum wage, working many hours per week, and having zero time because I was a single mom and trying to restart my life. And so I said, you know what, I'm just going to do 10 minutes every day, and $10 every month to buy, paper, to send out letters, to buy stamps, or whatever it was. But guess what? In 6 months, I already quit my job. I had already started being on TV and radio. I became guest on magazines, writing for them. I started gaining sponsors. 6 months of 10 minutes per day and $10 per month. That increased over time, but it's the belief. That is what
yeah.
was always there. And so if we want to change something in our lives, we have to change with what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about what we deserve, what we believe about who we are meant to be in this planet.
That is absolutely incredible. I'm thinking the title for your next book: $10 a month, 10 minutes a day, and you can still achieve financial freedom in 6 months.
Yeah.
It's so incredible. I mean, your story, homelessness, everything that you were going through, and you still survive and thrive, and you're here now, being able to share it with us. That it wasn't always easy.
No,
The
it
success.
still is. It's a
Yeah.
choice, Gordon, and you know that we still have dark times, and
Yes.
every day there's a new challenge, but it's maintaining that belief, going back to it when we
Yeah.
get disconnected.
Yeah. That belief system. I would love for you to come back another time. We could dive deeper into how to create that belief. Um,
Yeah,
that would be absolutely amazing. Well,
it's
thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Again, if you guys are watching, uh, your friends already know what a star you are. For my friends who are watching, this is Dr. Elayna Fernández, the positive mom, and she's going to be here this Saturday. All right, so if you want to join me and meet her in person, and the 7 incredible thought leaders she has that will be sharing the stage on Saturday is pretty incredible. Glenna, would you mind if can I put you on the hot seat for a couple questions before we wrap up here?
love that. I would love that. Let's do it.
All right. So what is your favorite color?
Well, it's actually green, but not a lot of people know that.
Ah, why is it green?
Green, I think it's because of hope and prosperity and health.
Wow. Hope, health, and prosperity. I love that. Love that. Now, if you had a favorite ice cream, what would be your favorite flavor?
Well, that's great that is because I don't really love ice cream. It's too cold. But
Okay,
if I had a favorite, it would be coconut.
coconut. Okay, okay. And then my last question for you is this is a tougher one. Okay, so if you could wave a magic wand right now, and there was one thing that you could do for yourself, not for somebody else, because you have such a big heart. You're always there to help somebody else, family, friends, folks. You're always trying to help all these other entrepreneurs. But you can wave a magic wand, and there was one thing you could do for you right now. What would you do?
I would go back in time and interview my grandmother and ask her all the questions I didn't know to ask when she was alive.
Wow, what? So your grandmother, when so did you knew her as a child or as an adult or
Yeah, I was 12 years old when she passed away. So I didn't
okay?
really, I had a lot of beautiful, silly times with her, and she was the one person that always made me feel seen and loved and valued.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't know a lot of things about her, and that's part of why I want to help people share their story, because I know that when I am a great 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 grandmother, my posterity, they're gonna read my books, they're gonna find my blog posts, they're gonna know, they're gonna have information available that I have no idea about my grandmother and her life story, and her struggles and her dreams and her hopes, and really her feelings and emotions. So I really would love, her name is Lydia Fernandez. And yeah, the last time I saw her, I was about to turn 13. And I really just would love to know all of the things about her, and maybe to confirm that we're very alike, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. And I
Thank
guess the message for those of us who have parents and grandparents that are still alive, right? Let's make sure that we don't take them for granted.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I knew I was interviewing the positive mom, so I thought, hey, I better get my dad shirt on today. I'm
I love
really,
it.
really looking forward to seeing you this Saturday. Before we go, do you have any final thoughts and comments you would like to leave with some of the folks who may be watching or watching the replay?
Yeah, so my thoughts are these. I'm really appreciative of your time, Gordon, and your generosity. And meeting you and Jay has been really amazing for me. And if anyone that is watching has any kind of doubt about what an integrity driven and love driven mission you and Jay have, is, I am here to confirm that I just really trust that what you're doing is heart centered, that you're definitely a giver, definitely have the priorities, your priorities straight. And so I'm really grateful to be or have become part of your community and to be in your space, and for you to have the trust to share my name and my information with your audience. I just wanted to say I'm grateful for that, and to really welcome everyone with arms wide open, that I'm here to serve, just like you and Jay have served me.
Yes. Wow, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Well, we're grateful that you are here as well. And I would love, maybe one day for you to share your story, part of your story, with our Land for Success Untold stories book series as well, because I think what you have
Absolutely.
is stories pretty amazing. Well,
I'm
thank
signing
you once.
for it. Say no more.
Let's do it. This is so amazing. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you this Saturday, and I look forward to having more conversations with you, so we can actually, like you mentioned, let's blast even more people that are out there. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Gordon.
Elayna.
See you soon. Mwah.
And everyone for watching, thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.